Kayshon Boutte surprises, I think, literally everyone and decides to come back to LSU for another season. Now, this news broke yesterday afternoon, so you probably already know the news, but let me just tell you this, in my opinion, is massive for LSU and for a couple of reasons. Yes, because Kayshon Boutte is a fantastic talent, someone that, when he's right, is as good as anyone in the country. And we saw different times this year where he was right, and we saw it against Georgia, the number one defense in the country, what he can do. And that's when, personally, I think he's at his best. It's not running the deep routes. It's not running the go routes. It is running 10 to 12-yard routes, catching the football, and being a dude. And that's what he's really, really good at. And he finished this year, because we all know he didn't have a touchdown until the Tennessee game. He only had 2 touchdowns on the season. But after the Tennessee game, they move him. They put him in the slot, where I think that's where he is best because of what he can do in those intermediate routes. He ends the year 11 games, 48 catches, 538 yards. And yes, only 2 scores. That is an issue, and that's something that you'd like to see them get fixed. I think that's schematically they figured out who Kayshon is and what he does best, and you saw the best version of Kayshon. So it's big, right? Now you still have Kayshon, and you've got Brian Thomas, you've got Neighbors. I mean, you got Jack Besh. You still have a solid group of receivers. But it also speaks to, I think, the culture that LSU is building and has already built to some extent in only 1 year under Brian Kelly. How many times have we seen a preseason All-American not have the season that he wanted to have, and that player in today's college football opts out, has an injury, misses the entire season, misses the bowl game, leaves early, even though that player probably shouldn't. Now, Kayshon still, I think Mel Kiper and Todd McShay both had him as the number 5 receiver still in this class. Number 5 receiver, with the way college football and the NFL are kind of married as far as schematics now, that's still edge first-round grade. Certainly second-round grade. Still going to make a lot of money. Still going to set yourself up for a very, very long time. But the culture that Brian Kelly and his staff have built here, like the relationship with Kayshon started, and Brian Kelly said it. Remember that press conference where we're like, oh, man, wait, what? Like, things aren't good? Started there, continued to grow legs, continued to grow together, and now you have a player in Kayshon Boutte that wants to come back, wants to play for Brian Kelly, wants to do more, wants to prove that he is that receiver that we've all seen him be before. I just think this is massive. And the second part of it might be even more important. We all know what the narrative around BK coming down here was. He's going to be a fit. The guy's going to buy in. Not only did Kayshon buy in, the whole team bought in, and he is a fit, and it is a different culture over there. I've been in that locker room for a lot of different head coaches, and this is about as good as it's ever felt when you go over there. Like that, we talk about alignment, and we kind of laugh at it. We kind of pointed out how many times they say, well, there is that, right? And something like this, like Kayshon Boutte coming back, I think that proves that. So we wondered what this season was going to do for the future of LSU football because it happened unexpectedly. We didn't have LSU in this spot, and now you get to a championship game. You didn't have it go your way. You lost 50-30. I understand that. But one of the things that was so bright to me, that shined so bright you can't deny it, was their effort in that game, them being locked in together, and then you get this news. It just, to me, it feels like it is a massive, massive. It just points to everything that I think that they're building over there, and it points to the culture and all the traits and everything. Like, you might think that's coach speak, but it feels real. And this is one of those things that makes it feel like it's real. Now, the transfer portal is hopping. I mean, you had at one point yesterday, when I think we were doing the morning show, or I was doing it yesterday, it might have been like 300 players were in the portal. And then right when I'm getting ready for off campus, it was 400 players in the portal. By the time we got to hour number 2, it was 550 players in the portal. By the time we wrapped up yesterday's show, we finished at about, we were at 450, 750. And I was like, let me check one more time before we all sign off here. It was 770 players in the portal. So there might be, and there might be LSU players that end up going in the portal. Certainly there will be. But in a day and age when it is damn hard to keep not only a player, but certainly a star player that didn't have the year that they wanted to have, it speaks to the culture, in my opinion. And that is massive. I think that is something that, you're not quite sure how it's going to work out. And to see this, it's bigger than just the star player coming back. And, look at, 6 ACC quarterbacks, 6 that were starters, 3 that were preseason all-conference are in the portal. Off the top of my head, you got Armstrong from Virginia, you got Sims at Georgia Tech, you got DJU at Clemson, Dracovic at Boston College, who's already decided to go from Boston College to Pitt. You got Devin Leary. Devin Leary was a first-team All-ACC guy. NC State doesn't have an awful year, and Devin Leary is now in the transfer portal. It's very, very difficult to keep your star players in this day and age of NIL, of it being so easy to transfer. So, again, the fact that LSU is able to keep Kayshon, it just feels like it's even bigger than football. It feels like it's football, and then it's what potentially is going to be down the road for LSU. And so we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens in the transfer portal during the break. I'm going to update those numbers and see what's the latest there. I told you yesterday, you got Cade McNamara, who started a college football playoff game for Michigan last year, is now the quarterback at Iowa. Within the Big Ten, within his own conference. So the portal is exactly what we thought it would be as soon as it opened up. It opens up yesterday. It is exactly what we thought it was going to be. Keaton Slovis is the other quarterback in the ACC that I didn't mention. I mentioned 6 quarterbacks. Keaton Slovis goes from USC to Pitt. Dracovic goes from Boston College to Pitt. Now Keaton Slovis is leaving Pitt as a grad transfer, and he's going to go to his 3rd place, and he's not the only one. Multiple guys will be in their 3rd different stop because they're graduates. And so it's portal streets are wild. We'll get more into some of the other names as well. But again, in this day and age, when you put yourself basically on the free agency block, when you go into the portal, you see what kind of deals you can get in the NIL, and you have one of your star players that a lot of rumors last year that he was going to go to that place that we all know that he was rumored to go to, and he stays here, and the attitude that he displayed I thought was fantastic throughout the season, with how the season was going for him individually, with what the expectations were, and now you're able to keep that player here. That is pointing to great signs for the LSU Tiger football program.